Man, he, him.
Woman, she, her.
Non-binary, they, them.
Trans man, he, him.
Trans woman, she, her.
Gender queer, they, them, or any others.
All right, it's time to cut the cake. Let's find out if our baby's going to be a boy or a girl. I don't know what this colour means.
This might blow your mind, but sex and gender are two different things. I know, mind blown.
Your sex is what your doctor assigned you at birth, so male, female, or intersex. Your gender is how you identify, so man, woman, or another term like genderqueer or non-binary.
A good way to remember it is that sex is what's between your legs and gender is what's in your head and your heart.
A lot of forms ask you to tick what your gender is. Most of the time, they look like this, but really, they should look like this.
Before a baby is born, half of what anyone talks about is whether it's going to be a boy or a girl. But just like sexual orientation, gender is a spectrum. It's not as simple as pink or blue.
A spectrum is like a line. So woman, non-binary, man. And they're all somewhere along the same line.
You might be born with a sex that doesn't match your gender, or you could be born intersex.
Around 1 in 2,000 people are intersex, which can mean a variety of things. But basically it means that their reproductive and sexual anatomy may not fit with the typical definitions of male and female.
Our world is constantly sending us messaging about the gender binary and telling us that men are a certain way and women are a certain way, and just reinforcing that there are these two categories that human beings exist within. But the reality, of course, is that individuals are completely dynamic and different from each other, and gender identity exists on a spectrum, and people can be anywhere in between or on either end, from male to female.
It can be pretty hard to work out your gender identity in a world where as soon as a baby girl's born, she gets like 10 dolls and a big pink wardrobe. Our ideas about gender are set at such a young age that it can feel pretty overwhelming.
If you feel like you don't fully identify with the gender that you've been assigned, you can always reach out to places like Rainbow Youth, your GP, maybe even a school counsellor.
I have had friends who have felt really trapped by gender norms or gender stereotypes and felt like they couldn't be themselves freely or explore parts of themselves. The great thing for those friends was when they found spaces where they were safe to do that, whether that was in a theatre class or a bunch of friends or a community, so they had an outlet for that and could go at their own pace.
With my daughter, if she wants to be a girl, she can be a girl. If she wants to grow up to be a boy, she can be a boy. If she wants to be like a shark, like I'm sure in a few years' time we can figure something out to turn her into a shark. But if she grows up and wants to listen to Nick Jonas, then she's got to find a different place to live.
We're going to teach you some terms to learn, and the first one is cisgender.
Cisgender refers to someone whose assigned sex matches their gender identity. So if when you were born, the doctor was like, it's a boy, and you're like, yeah, nailed it, I am a boy, then you are cisgender.
On the other hand, if you're born female and you feel like a girl, you're also cisgender.
The term cisgender is good because it stops people from using the term normal, which can make people of other gender identities feel not normal.
Another gender identity is transgender, meaning your gender identity, what's in your head and heart, is different from the sex you were assigned at birth.
A trans man identifies as male. They probably prefer he/him pronouns, which means how they refer to themselves or how other people refer to them.
A trans woman identifies as female. They probably prefer the pronouns she, her. If you're unsure what pronouns to use, just ask. It's better to be informed than to take a stab in the dark.
But wait, there's more. Genderqueer, non-binary, and gender fluid might refer to people who don't feel like they're one or another gender. They might prefer the pronouns they or them. But again, the best thing to do is ask.
By age 3, people generally have a really good sense of their gender. And it's really important to respect and recognise other people's gender because it makes up a really large part of who they are.
I think the main piece of advice I would give is to just go really easy on yourself. You don't have to have all the answers straight away, and identity takes ages to unravel, so yeah, just be nice to yourself.
So sometimes you might want to ask a trans person about who they used to be and what their name was, and that's kind of a little bit very rude.
If a trans person wants to share their journey with you, that's great, but it's their choice.
Someone who is trans may take hormones or have surgery so that their body matches their identity. But all of these steps are optional because nothing's compulsory when you identify as trans.
Whether somebody has had surgery or not is, guess what? Their business, not yours. Nobody's asking you what's in your pants, so don't ask them what's in theirs.
So I think I was about 14 when I first started kind of playing around with my gender. Obviously, there's been moments in my life before then that have been kind of not strictly male or female, and I felt quite comfortable flipping between the two. But I think it was when I kind of hit school and worked out that girls do this and boys do that, and it started not working for me. So I think God bless the internet is all I'm going to say, because that really gave me the resources and the curiosity to go and look at what's out there, and that gave me a lot of strength to pursue finding out who I really am.
Our Pacific neighbours also have gender identities that are unique to them. Whawhawhine from Samoa, Whakaleiti or Leiti from Tonga, Wakasalewalewa from Fiji, and Akawaine from the Cook Islands. Some of them have similarities to trans identities, but they're not necessarily the same.
Right, so you got your assigned sex and your gender identity, but there is also another piece to this puzzle, which is your gender presentation.
The way you express your gender to the world isn't always the same. You should be able to wear whatever you like.
So the way you present yourself to the world doesn't have to follow any rules, except that you can't walk around naked because that is illegal.
I think the way that you express your gender to the world, like, it's never going to be the same. Like, people should literally be able to wear what they want, except for Crocs. Like never ever wear Crocs. Who said, oh, okay, get out?
People can dress a whole bunch of different ways, which is great, but if you get confused about what pronouns to use, again, just ask.
Trans people experience some of the worst abuse from society, and this is motivated by transphobia.
Transphobia can be lots of different things, but two examples include intentionally using the wrong pronouns or doing what we call dead naming.
Dead naming means calling someone the name that they had before they transitioned. Don't do it. If they still wanted to be called that, it would still be their name.
It's called dead naming because that name is dead. Rest in peace, name. May we never speak of you again.
So if you identify as transgender and you're experiencing transphobia, you can reach out to a trusted adult or get in touch with Rainbow Youth, or in extreme cases, the police.
Having an organisation like Rainbow Youth is so awesome because it means that young people who are coming from these situations where they might not feel accepted or they might be confused can come and meet other people going through similar things and find an environment where they can be accepted and free to express and learn about themselves and their sexuality and gender, which is awesome.
All right, that was a lot of information. You might want to watch the episode again. Can I eat the non-binary cake now?
Thanks for the real sex talk, New Zealand On Air.